Good morning and welcome to this episode of the How to Choose Happiness Show. I'm your host, Lauren Foster, and we're here to teach you how to claim your power to manifest your life any way you want it, to have the health and the wealth and the love and the freedom and the wealth that is your birthright. So, technology, I almost had to reboot my computer like 2 minutes ago, so I was halfway panicking and now my brain has got all scattered, but I have the power to refocus and come back to you. So this week, this whole month, we're talking about money. And this week especially, we're talking about what it means to be a person of increase. And I'm going to get to all that in just a minute, but I want to touch on a few other things first. So first of all, some housekeeping. The link in this post will take you to the Empowerment Through Journaling worksheet, which is a free download and it is a very powerful tool to teach you to implement all of the things that we're teaching you here. So understanding that you have the choice over how you're building your life and resting back that control is a conscious thing that you do, and you do this by exercising that ability, and this journaling exercise will really help you to do that. And in the beginning of that worksheet is the story of the magic orchid, which was told to me by my mother. It's just a wonderful, awesome, cool, inspiring, and uplifting story. Here comes Willie. Willie is new to the house and he really likes to overeat and then go throw up. That's his cool thing. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what we mean by power. So I'm going to ask you this twice. So right now, if you think you understand what power means, and if you think you are powerful, put a 1 in the comments. And if you think you don't have power, put a 2. So then we're going to ask this again after we explain a little bit what we mean by power. Now, if you Google the most powerful women of 2019, you're going to get people like Angela Merkel, who is the chancellor. Wow, I have a whole plethora of kitty cats coming up here. Angela Merkel is the chancellor of Germany. Christine Lagarde is the European Central Bank president. And then Nancy Pelosi, of course, is the Speaker of the House. So these are the people that come up. This came from Forbes magazine. And then also Melinda Gates made this list for her charitable contribution. She's with her husband, is the head of the largest charitable organization in the world at this time. So these uses of power, they're like wielding political power, wielding financial power, the ability to get things to happen through your actions, or another way of putting it, a masculine way of creating, which is great. We love the masculine way of creating, but we don't want to forget the feminine way of creating either. So if you look up the word power and see what the definition is, it comes from the Latin word potere, which means to be able to. But we think of things that are powerful to be much more than able to. We think of them as being strong and being forceful, and a lot of times as having dominance over others. Now, that's not the kind of power that we're talking about. That is a competitive power, a forceful power. The power that we are wanting you to reach inside yourself and find is personal creative power, in that you are molding and shaping your life from your thoughts and your feelings and your vibration. And not that this is not influencing other people, it influences them in a very powerful way. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Wallace Wattles and the Science of Getting Rich, but he says in that book that, and I'm summing up, but a man who creates in a competitive way kicks the ladder down behind him so nobody else can follow. But a man who builds a life in a creative way and builds wealth in a creative way is paving the way for others and inspiring them to follow along. So it's all about creation. It's never about competition. It's about understanding that the resources in this universe are endless and boundless, and there is more than enough for everyone to be wealthy and healthy and happy and in love. So personal power is understanding that the universe is looking out for you in every moment. So I want to kind of paint a picture for you here. So first, before I move on, one of my favorite things in my life this minute is I'm performing a wedding for my best friend this weekend. And so I decided to audition my outfit that I was going to wear because there's cool stories around this, and plus it's just like really fun to wear. So I ordered this awesome cape that you really can't see all of it. It's a cloak. It's called the Aria cloak, and I discovered a girl locally to me who makes jewelry, and I loved all of the things that I bought from her, and I love these head things. I love to watch shows like Once Upon a Time and Merlin and shows about magic, and I love Downton Abbey and the cool 20s headdresses that they wore, and I wanted a special headpiece that was just for me, that was made the way that I wanted it to be, in collaboration with Heather Kahn, who Tammy's going to give you the link to her Etsy shop and to her Instagram account because she's always making beautiful things. So I just said, Heather, will you make me one? And she said, sure, I'll try. And so we came up with this. And then when I was preparing for this wedding, I'm like, I want some jewelry that will match my headset. So I asked her, will you make me a bracelet? Which she did. That is amazing and astounding and one of a kind, made just exactly for me. And the ring, don't look at my manicure, I haven't gotten to that yet, but she made me a beautiful ring and beautiful earrings. And I already actually happen to have a awesome pendant that, I don't know if you can see that or not, but so I could have, and she did all this for me within 3 or 4 days. So when I conceived of this thought, I could very easily have said, oh, there's not enough time, and thought of all the reasons why this is not possible. So the old salesperson's creed is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So figure out what it is that you want and ask the world for it. You know, it just might say yes. It might say yes quicker than you thought. So I could have just gone on Amazon and looked for something that was so-so and not special and, that matched well enough. But I really wanted this. And so I asked Heather for it, and she came through, and we had so much fun co-creating and sending pictures back and forth. And I wound up with this awesome jewelry that I love. And another way that this is expressing my personal power is that I own my own business, and I get to look any way that I want. I can choose fashions from all throughout time, or even make them up and create my own style that I like, that makes me happy. And there are people out there that are saying, oh my God, she looks ridiculous in that silly thing on her head, and who wears a cape in 2020? And I don't care. I care more about doing what I want to do and pleasing myself than I do about anyone else's opinion of me. And that is personal power. All right, so I want to paint a picture for you. There's 2 women. I'm making this up. These are not actual women. This is just an example that I created in my own head. But there's 2 women, and they're both unhappy in their jobs, and they're both wishing that they had something different going on in their lives as far as their work goes. Well, these 2 women are at the airport and getting ready to fly off to an appointment, and their flight is canceled. Now, one woman says, okay, so this changes things. She understands that the universe is looking out for her, that everything is happening in her best interest, and she gets curious about what this change in her plans might represent for her. So she goes off to the bar and has some lunch and has a little glass of wine and looks around at the people that are there and begins to engage with them, and winds up sitting next to a woman who is looking for someone exactly like her to fill a position that is exactly like the one she's looking for. So by always looking for opportunity and believing in herself and being curious and being aware and believing that the universe is on your side, led her to just exactly what she was looking for that couldn't have happened had that flight not been canceled. Now the other woman instead spends her whole time at the ticket counter trying to get them to change things, yelling at people, being upset, being unhappy, doing everything that she can to try and change things and force things to be different and force things to line back up according to her original plan. And of course, we have limited power over how airlines do and what they do. And so she doesn't succeed. So she just goes off into a corner to pout. And she missed the opportunity that she could have done exactly the same thing and gone, okay, what is the universe bringing me instead of this on-time flight? So that's what we mean about being in a position of creative power and owning your creative power. And you do this in every minute. You do this in every new decision that you make, which brings us to showing up as a person of increase. Now, I thought that person of increase came exactly word for word from the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. But then when I pulled that up on my Kindle and searched for that exact phrase doesn't actually show up there. This is how Mary Morrissey framed it to us as she was doing some of our training. So being a person of increase is what Wallace Wattles calls doing things in a certain way. And so I highly recommend this book. It's public domain. I've included one link, or Tammy's going to include one link where you can go and download this book, and you can read it in a couple of hours. It's very short, but it's very profound. And what he means by doing things in a certain way is that no matter what it is that you're doing, you do it the very best way that you can, the very best way that you know how, bringing all of the resources that you have access to in this moment to bear on that task. And in that way, you're sending the signal to God, to the universe, to whatever you call the infinite intelligence that is beating our hearts, that you are doing things well. You are doing things awesome. You are making room for opportunities to do even bigger and better things and to grow in even bigger and better ways and to bring what you have to the game. So this brings me to one of my favorite stories, and I always love to go back and figure out where things came from and where they happened originally. And Barbara Glanz is a very well-known business speaker. She's spoken on every continent and all 50 states, and she's just truly amazing. And if you want to hear her tell this story, we're going to include a link for that too. But I'm going to just repeat it to you because it really is a cool story. So Barbara had been giving a presentation to 3,000 employees of a large grocery store chain to help them with customer service, to help them with job satisfaction, to help them just be more effective at working as a team within their stores. And she said that she always gives her audiences her home phone number. And after she finished this presentation, she got a phone call from one of the stores from a man named Johnny who had Down syndrome. And he shared with her who he was and that he had Down syndrome and that he was a bagger in one of the stores. And he told her that he really, really liked one of the things that she said about how they could put their personal touch on the job that they do, no matter what their job is. And he got this idea that he would create a thought for the day. And he got his dad to help him, and they laid it all out in 3 columns on a spreadsheet and printed it all out and cut them out. And so every day, Johnny would bring in his thought for the day. And if he couldn't find one that he liked, he would just make one up. And then with every bag of groceries that he bagged, he would put one of these little slips of paper in there with the thought for the day and tell the customer to have a great day. Well, about a month later, Barbara got a call from the manager to tell her about what had evolved from this. And he walked onto the floor one day and saw that Johnny's line was 3 times longer than everybody else's line. And so he's hustling around trying to get more registers open and trying to get the customers to move out of that line into another one. And they're like, no, we want to be in Johnny's line because we want the thought for the day. It's really a cool, fun highlight of our day, and so we want to be in this line. And a woman even told him that she used to do her grocery shopping once a week, but now she would pop in when she was running by because she loved getting the thought for the day that Johnny had. And so look what has happened by this one thing that this boy decided to do, to put his personal touch, to bring his best to his job. He became the most important person in that whole store. And so a few months later, Barbara gets a call from the manager to share how this culture had permeated their store, and that now in the floral department, where before if they had a broken flower or a corsage that was about to be outdated, they would just throw it away. But now they would go out onto the floor and find a little girl or an elderly woman and give her that flower. And the butcher really loved Snoopy, so they ordered 50,000 Snoopy stickers. And so with every package of meat that he put together, he would put a little Snoopy sticker on there. So this just became a wonderful culture in this company, all from one employee saying, I want to bring my personal touch. I want to bring my best and what is special about me to my job. And this is something that we can all do every minute. This is Romeo. Say hello to Romeo. Romeo is a lover. So this is what we mean by being a person of increase, by just bringing your best to bear in whatever it is that you're doing in the moment, and always anticipating with eagerness and expectation the greater and greater things that are coming to you, and avoiding criticizing where you are and looking at where you want to be from a place of resentment and lack. And it's always all about choice, and it's always about your personal power. So again, now that we've had a discussion about what we mean by personal power, now how powerful do you think you are? And if you think you're powerful, put a 1. If you think you've got a lot of room to grow, put a 2. And reach out to us and let us know some ideas that you have for ways that you can really empower yourself in your days. If there's something that you want, ask the universe how you can get it. I have a massage therapist healer who comes to my house every month. I have a girl who comes and helps make me beautiful, gives me manicures and pedicures and facials and pampering once a month. Now, this sounds like the lifestyle of an incredibly wealthy woman, but I'm not. I worked out ways to figure out things that I wanted that I could trade. I trade coaching services with them. So I do life coaching for them, and they come and do this for me. So if there's something that you want, the universe has a way of delivering it to you. You just have to get curious and get co-creating about how you're going to play your part in getting that to happen. So a really easy way to get started is to journal. Start your morning by declaring to the universe what you're going to be that day, how you're going to create, how you're going to show up, and make up your mind to live your day on purpose. And then at the end of the day, congratulate yourself for life well lived and set out to do the exact same thing tomorrow. And so the link in this post will bring you to that journaling worksheet. And once you opt in and get that, we're going to also send you a couple of other awesome goal setting tools: the Why Not Me, Why Not Now worksheet, and the workbook by the same name. Why Not Me, Why Not Now? There's no better time than right now. So I'm going to have a look really quick to see if there are questions. Or hi, Christine. Thank you so much for being here. I totally love it. And y'all definitely go and check out Heather's jewelry. She's just awesome and amazing, and she has a wide variety of things, and they're just special and unique and beautiful. All right, so I don't see any specific questions. If there are, I'll get back to them and reply in the comments. So I'm going to be back here on Thursday. I think I have my days straight this time. Thursday morning, 11:30 Eastern time, right here on the Be Happy First channel. Click like, click follow, stay with us, and learn and grow and claim your power. Until Thursday, remember that happiness is a choice, and you can always choose to be